Big Polly's World of Sports Sims, I'll get it right, presents HTBL Baseball, Hometown Baseball League, from the makers of the Hometown Football League. And welcome everybody, Big Polly here, in voice and not in face, as I debut my newest venture, the Hometown Baseball League. We have 32 teams, 50 players on each team. We're going to have 29-man rosters. We have made the cuts down to 29. And it kind of works similarly to the Hometown Football League, although we're doing this on a franchise level basis. For instance, New York A, you might see in the upper right of your screen, they are the New York Yankees. Let's just give you another example. Los Angeles N in the National League West. They are the best 50 Los Angeles Dodgers. Well, the best 40, I should say. I'll explain this in greater detail. We picked 40 of the best players of the franchise at where it is currently at. If you're a Brooklyn Dodger, if you're a Boston Brave, if you're a Philadelphia Athletic, if you are a Washington Senator, if you're part of any team that is now extinct, you went into a pool, and each of the 32 teams drafted from a pool over 10 rounds. Now, there are two teams that we added that had long runs. Montreal is part of the National League. They are separated from the Washington Nationals. And the St. Louis Browns are their own entry, St. Louis A, and they will be part of the American League. I'll go over the divisions for you, and then we will get to our game, which is going to be New York in the American League, New York Yankees, against the Baltimore Orioles. That'll be our opening game. I am the general manager of Tampa Bay. I am in the American League East. I made my draft picks to bolster my roster. I am not expecting to contend, but we're going to do a game of the day for a while. It might not be every day I do it on the streams, but we're going to go through this. This is the historical collection that you could get from Dave Koch Sports and Action PC Baseball 2021. Love this game, by the way. It does some things that OOTP doesn't. And it's kind of a very interesting difference from OOTP, where you don't have to worry about a spaghetti timeline that OOTP gives you for a certain year if you forget to turn the transactions on. You just plug and play, basically. So let's go through the divisions. In the National League East, we have 4 divisions of 4 teams. Each team will play 144 games. They'll play each team in their division 24 times, and they will play the teams outside their division 6 times. We use the DH. We do not have interleague play. We have 29-man rosters, so we're not running out of players unless we have a very long extra inning game. We use the traditional rules of baseball outside the DH. We have a 40-man limit when we get to September. And each team can use 29 players, and it can only use 14 pitchers at any one time. So in the National League East, it's the Mets, Philadelphia, Washington, and Miami. In the Mid-East, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Montreal. In the NL Midwest, Chicago, Milwaukee, St. Louis, and Colorado. In the West, it's the Dodgers, San Diego, San Francisco, and Arizona. In the AL, Baltimore, Boston, New York, and Tampa Bay. In the Mid-East, Toronto, Cleveland, Chicago, Detroit. In the Midwest, it's Kansas City, Minnesota, Houston, and St. Louis. And out west, it's the LA Angels, LA, California. I should note that for purposes of this game, the LA and California Angels were merged. So was the Miami and Florida Marlins, because basically they played in the same place. They just had different names. In Midwest, Kansas City, Minnesota, Houston, and St. Louis. Out west, LA, Seattle, Oakland, and Texas. I think I told you that already. Each division winner will make the playoffs, as will the wild card, only one wild card. And we will have an all-star game at the middle point of the season. So let's get to our first game, and I will play as Tampa Bay off stage for the most part, unless they are the game of the day. In which point I will make sure that their game of the day is as them being the home team, because I will always play as the home team. So it's New York and Baltimore. That'll be our first game. I did kind of twiddle the lineups a little bit for every team to make sure the best players got to play or thereabouts. And let's get this started. I play as Baltimore, so the computer sets the lineup, and we'll go through that. Like I said, each team got to pick 10 players of franchises that are defunct or franchises in cities that they no longer play in. So we'll go through all of that as we move along.
Pitching for Baltimore, Amos Rusi.
Amos Rusi will be the pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles. It is a 68-degree day, clear skies. And we'll go through the lineups here for New York. It is Jeter at shortstop, Earl Combs at center, Roof the DH, Gehrig at first base, Lazzeri at second, Maris plays right, Posada at catcher, Winfield at left, Gil McDougall at third, and Jack Quinn will be pitching for them. Let's set the defensive lineups as much as we can because some of the arm ratings are cut off. Woodling is playing in left field. Brady Anderson is in center. Ken Singleton at right. Woodling is a 6, Anderson a 5, Singleton also a 5. Brooks Robinson is your third baseman. I believe he is a 9 or a 10. I think he's a 10. Cal Ripken a 7 playing shortstop. Bobby Grich at second base, he's a 9. And Eddie Murray is your first baseman. He's also a 9. Rusi is 3 defensively, and Gus Triandos, the catcher, is a 6 with an 8 arm. In fact, we can look here at the arms of the outfielders. Woodling is a 6, Anderson a 4, Singleton at 7. Nice recovery, Paulie. So let's get started. Jeter will be the first hitter in HTBL history. Remember, the HTFL will be returning in September 6th, which is my 50th birthday. That was a fly ball to right, and Singleton will record the first out in HTBL history. Combs, a good bunter, playing center. Rusi deals, grounder to short. Ripken to Murray. 2 outs now in the New York first. I do not call the teams Yankees, Orioles. I just use the team's first city name. So that brings up the Bambino, Babe Ruth. He is the DH. An action-packed lineup that New York has, and that's a strikeout of the Babe.
Jack Quinn.
Mantle is on the bench, and DiMaggio is on the bench, if you were wondering. So is, talk about a stacked lineup, Don Mattingly, Frank Malzone, who was one of the picks the Yankees had. He plays third base. Munson is a reserve catcher, and they have Williams, second baseman. Who is that, by the way? Which Williams is that? We'll show you right now before we set the Baltimore lineup. That is Jimmy Williams. Okay. Nice to know. Let's go through the Baltimore lineup. Brady Anderson is at center. Bumbry is the DH, batting second. Not Chris Singleton, but Ken Singleton, the Yankee announcer, batting right field, oddly enough. Eddie Murray at first. Woodling in left. Ripken at short. Grich at second base, Robinson at third, Triandos is your catcher. Be facing Jack Quinn. Let's show you the defensive lineup. Winfield, he's a 9 in left and a 9 in right. His arm is an 8. Combs plays center, 6 at center field, his arm a 4. Not Babe Ruth, but Roger Maris is in right. He's an 8, arm of 7. McDougall is a 6 at third. Jeter, 6 at shortstop. Lazzeri, push him up, is a 5 at second base. Lou Gehrig plays first base and is a 7. Jorge Posada has a 4-arm. His catcher rating is a 6. Quinn's pitching defense rating is a 6. They have Brady Anderson played into bunt. I'm not planning a bunt. I play as the home team. Combs, 1 out. And that brings up Al Bunbury, another bunter, and Gehrig keeps playing in on the corners, as does McDougal. That's a strikeout. So it's now up to Kenny Singleton to keep the inning alive for Baltimore in the first. That's a base hit to right. Maris scoops it up. And Singleton aboard with a single. First base hit in HTBL history. Here's Eddie Murray. And that's a pickoff move to first, but Singleton was back in time. Murray, a grounder to the second baseman Lazzeri over the first. And that ends the first inning of HTBL history. Boy, you're going to get tired of me saying this after a while. So we have played one inning, no score. Baltimore with the only runner left on base up to this point. Leading off in the top of the second is Lou Gehrig. Brucey deals. Base hit to left center. That found the gap, and Gehrig only got a double on that. It was hit well enough to could have been a triple. And that brings up Tony Lazzeri. Runner at second. That's a strikeout. And we now go to Roger Maris, who famously hit 61 in 61. And then Mark McGwire broke his home run record, and then Barry Bonds broke his. Here's the pitch. That's a strikeout. And Rusi up to 3 strikeouts already in this game. Posada now up, 2 outs, top of the second. He struck out. So back-to-back-to-back strikeouts for Amos Rusi. He's up to 4 after 2. And after an inning and a half, we have no score. Here's Gene Woodling, left fielder. Base hit to right. And Woodling now aboard. Not much of a threat to steal. Bringing up Cal Ripken Jr., he who broke the consecutive game streak that was held for a very long time by Lou Gehrig on September 6, 1995, which I remember well because it was my 24th birthday, due to math. Ripken, base hit. No, a foul ball down the left field line. Count now 1-2 as Quinn deals again. No, a pickoff move to first, and Woodling back in time. Ripken, the 6-hitter. And that's hit to left field for a base hit. Woodling will stay at second. Only a 36% chance that he would succeed in a move to third. So Bobby Grich now up. We will talk about the stats as the season progresses, but this is the first game, so no need to do it. Here's his pitch. Grounder, second base, to the shortstop for 1, over the first. They do not get Grich. It's just 1 out only. Fielder's choice. And that brings up Brooks Robinson, Mr. Hoover. Great defensive third baseman for Baltimore in the 60s and the 70s. That's a grounder up the middle. No, a great play by, it was a line drive caught by Combs, and Woodling should score, and he does, and it's 1-0 in favor of Baltimore, the first run in HTBL history. 2 outs now in the bottom of the second for the O's. Here's Triandos. Ball 4. First walk of the game for Quinn. And we go back to the top of the order, and Brady Anderson. No need to bunt here with 2 outs. That'd be kind of silly. Well hit. Center field. Combs gets it. So Baltimore picks up a run, and that is all. We head to the third. 1-0 in favor of Baltimore. If there were standings, here's where they would be. Not much use to us right now because this is the very first game. Winfield, Dave Winfield at left field, also played for San Diego. He bats 8th. That just shows you how stacked this New York lineup is. Rusi deals. Grounder to third. Robinson, Murray, 1 out. Brings up Gil McDougal, who plays third base. That's a ball 4 and a walk. Rusi's first. Based on the stats that the history collection gives us, Rusi had 153 walks to go along with his 181 strikeouts. He pitched 314 innings. Derek Jeter, as we go to the top of the order for New York, he's 0 for 1 on the day. He strikes out, and that's Ruzy's 5th of the day. That'll bring up Earl Combs. Combs, base hit, right center field, and McDougal is going to advance to third base on it. That brings up the Babe, 0 for 1 on the day. 381 hitter based on the stats of the historical collection, which is based on his best years. Obviously a threat to hit one out, but he could also hit 381. He can also steal. Here's the pitch to him. High fly to center. Anderson underneath it. No, it's Gritch. It was a pop fly. I misjudged the flight of the ball. And New York is out of the third. We head to the bottom of the third with a 1-0 Baltimore lead. Corner's in for Al Bunbury. I have no intention on bunting him. To third, McDougal. Looked like there was an error on the play. And Bunbury is safe at first. That's what they're going to score it. An error. Probably on McDougal. And at 56%. I don't like stealing unless I have 60. So we'll just keep him at first. Singleton, not a bunting or a hit and run threat, and they try to pick him off. Now Bunbury is up to 83, so now I'm going to try to steal. See how it goes. Safe! First stolen base for Al Bunbury. Maybe the first stolen base in HTBL history. I don't know. I just play these games. Singleton now with a runner at second, nobody out in the Baltimore third. And he looks at strike 3. Eddie Murray, he's 0 for 1 on the day. Grounder to second, over to first, and Bunbury will move to third on the play. 2 outs now for Woodling, Gene Woodling. He hits righties 305. So you're going to see a lot of complete games in this league. He looked at strike 3. So another K for Quinn, and we go to the fourth, 1-0 in favor of Baltimore. But it's early yet, and New York has some very powerful hitters. I would have made them the favorite to win it all in this first season of HTBL, but we will see. Gehrig, ball 4, and he gets to first base. Walk number 2 on the day for Rusi. Tony Lazzeri now up. See what he can do. Ground base hit to left field. Woodling with the pickup. And now there are runners at first and second with nobody out. Doesn't take much for New York to get anything going. And now Rusi's got a deal with Roger Maris. Pardon me a moment. Maris had that 1 year where he hit 61 homers in this average, this composite. He's 271, 29 homers and 82 ribbies, and an OPS of 881. Here's the pitch to him. Strike 3. And Rusi now up to 6 strikeouts on the day in 4 innings. He's at 61 pitches, so he's had to work a little bit. And now here comes Jorge Posada. 1-0, Baltimore leading. The pitch. Grounder to second base, over to the shortstop for 1, over to first, and that was a double play. Nicely done for Baltimore. We head to their fourth. 4 men left on base for each team. It's 1-0. Ripken, 1 for 1 on the day and the season, of course, because this is the first game. He takes a walk, and that puts him at first. As the crowd gets into it a little bit here at Camden Yards. Bobby Gritch, your new hitter. Solid hitter, 864 on the OPS. Base hit, and this is going to be extra bases. Gritch to third, he's safe. A triple down the left field line for Bobby Gritch, and it's 2-0. Ripken scored on the play. So now a runner at third. Infield playing normal depth for Brooks Robinson. I'd be a little surprised they're not playing in yet. Robinson, deep to left. Winfield underneath it, though. Gritch will likely score. He does. And, oh, he is out at home plate. How about that? We'll look at that play again. Thought for sure Gritch would get it. There's the catch by Winfield. Winfield with that 8 arm nailed Posada. So 2 outs now, and the base is empty for Baltimore. For Triandos. That slapped the third over the first, and that does Baltimore's chances in the fourth. They pick up another run, and they lead 2-0. Russi at 63 pitches, so he's at about 15 an inning. By the way, his expected pitch count, which is a stat Action PC Baseball uses, is at 140, and Quinn could go 125, although they might just keep him in because, as was the wont throughout baseball history, a starting pitcher, many for long generations long before, was expected to go 9. So I'm sure we'll see a lot of complete games, as I was alluding to earlier. Winfield now looking at Russi, and he gets on base, and he's not much of a stolen base threat at 26%. Gil McDougall comes back. He did not. He got a walk in his first appearance. Pitch to him. Oh, we're going to have a little conference first. Now the pitch. Ball 4, and now New York has a threat going in the 5th. We go back to the top of the lineup, and Mr. November, Derek Jeter. Up the middle, a base hit. That will score at least 1 run. Jeter with the base knock and his first ribby of the season. It's 2-1. So Russi in a spot, and now Earl Combs comes up. He gets a base hit. We have a tie game. Jeter now moves up to second. And let's see, he's going to advance to third because there's going to be no throw out of Singleton. Now, defensively, I'll try for an out if it's 50-50. And now there's danger here, Cherie, as it's now Babe Ruth, and he could turn the game around with a swing, but not on this, as that's a strikeout. 7 on the day for Russi, who is now up to 88 pitches. This brings up the Iron Horse, Lou Gehrig, 1 for 1 on the day. He strikes out. Now 2 outs for Tony Lazzeri. Up the middle. Rifkin gets to it. Just get the force at second, Cal. And New York is out in the 5th. And we have a tie game now, 2-2. I control the home team, Baltimore. And I also, offstage, will be playing games as Tampa Bay. Brady Anderson back up, and now Gehrig and McDougall giving him respect as they are no longer playing the corners. Here's the pitch. Anderson can hit a few home runs, so it's not like bunting is his only threat. He's 83% chance to steal. Let's go for it. Get it. He's safe, and that's his first stolen base of the year, as you see there. Now Al Bumbry up, 0 for 2 so far. He's the DH. Quinn picks up his 4th strikeout. Ken Singleton now up. Sorry about that, folks. He's playing right field. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Slow nubber to Jeter, who gets it to Gehrig for the out, and on the play, Anderson moved to third. Eddie Murray, the last chance for Baltimore in the inning. Base hit, and that brings in Anderson. It's 3-2. 5th inning we are in. So with Murray on, it's Gene Woodling's turn. He is 1 for 2 on the day. Lazzeri to Gehrig, and that's an out. 4-3. And after 5, Baltimore retakes the lead. It's 3-2. New York with 6 left on base, and Baltimore with 5. Russi now takes a look at Roger Maris from North Dakota. Here's his pitch. Hit well to right. but Singleton well underneath it for the first out. Looked promising when it left the bat, but then when you saw the distance, it did not accumulate. Not so much. Jorge Posada up for the Yankees in the sixth inning, trailing by a run, 3-2 with one out. Posada, a grounder to second. Grich, Murray, 2 out. Triandos catching for Russi. He's had a quiet game so far. We're looking at Winfield. Winfield 0 for 1 on the day. Ball 4. He gets on base and he keeps things alive for the Yankees in the sixth. As Gil McDougall comes up, he has not had a plate appearance yet. He's had 2 plate appearances but no at-bats. Russi with 5 walks. And now he picks up his 9th strikeout just in the nick of time for New York to be retired in the sixth. We go to the bottom of the sixth. It's 3-2. Cal Ripken back up, 1 for 1 on the day. Struck out. And that's 5 for Quinn on the day, who's up to 89 pitches. I would not be surprised if the computer artificial intelligence keeps him in past his 125 pitches. Bobby Grich now up again for Baltimore. Base hit, no, a foul ball. Count now 1-2 as we look at it again, and this time he strikes out, number 6 on the day for Quinn. Jack Quinn, according to this historical composite, should be 14-13, a 3.10 ERA. Opponents hit 272 against him, so there's that, and his whip is 1.227. Robinson now up, last chance for Baltimore in inning 6. High to center field, but Combs gets it. And we now go to the 7th, almost 7th inning stretch time. So when we get to that point, I will take a pause. Russi appearing strong. We hear from the pitching staff. He's at 115 pitches. I think he could go an inning or 2 more. But beyond that, I'm not going to push it. Jeter up 1 for 3 on the day, his 4th plate appearance, and something happened there. It was a strikeout and a passed ball. That's what happened. So Jeter aboard. Give Russi credit for the strikeout. That is 10 on the day for him. That brings up Earl Combs. Base hit to right field, so Jeter's going to move up to 3rd on that. And now you got a very interesting situation with Babe Ruth up. We're going to play in on the corners, hope for the double play. He struck out. Babe Ruth out on strikes, and that's strikeout number 11 for the Bambino. Well, not for Ruth, but for Russi. Can he get number 12 here with Gehrig? No, it's a high fly, right center field. Singleton underneath it. And we're going to go for a play at the plate. No, it's safe, and Jeter has tied the game up at 3-3 on the sac fly. Russi now looking at Tony Lazzeri. Might be his last inning. Ball 4. Runners at first and second. That is 6 walks on the day for Russi. This brings up Roger Maris. Fly to right field. Hit well, but Singleton catches it near the warning track. Break time. And welcome back for the remainder of this game. Big Paulie coming to you this very first HTBL broadcast. New York and Baltimore. It's 3-3, bottom of the 7th. Triandos up for Baltimore, facing Quinn, who's at 96 pitches through 6 innings, so he might go the distance here. Triandos on with a walk, which brings up Brady Anderson. He's a 6 bunter, but I don't think this is the situation where you bunt. Smack the right field. Maris. No, I'm sorry. That's Lazzari with the catch. It was Maris who made the catch. It looked like Lazzari caught it, but he did not. It was Maris. Sometimes the chalkboard does strange things. Bumbry up. He's the DH. Runner at first. Bottom of the 7th for 3-3 tie. He smacks it to right center. Maris will catch that. 2 outs. Singleton 1 for 3 on the day. Pitch to him. Squibber to the shortstop. Poor play, and Singleton gets aboard. Looked like Jeter muffed it. Doesn't look like they're calling it an error. They're ruling it a hit for Singleton. Now, critical moment for Baltimore with 2 outs in the 7th, and Eddie Murray up. Smack to right. Maris with the putout, and we'll go to the 8th. Russi is fine, I'm being told. Okay. When he exceeds 140, I'll visit the mound. And that's strikeout number 12. That was Posada out on strikes. In fact, that was 3 pitches. As the little board here says K 12 times. Winfield. He strikes out. That is 13. 13 strikeouts for Amos Russi. We're going to let him hit to McDougal. Might be his last at bat. Woodling with the catch. That was a fly to left. So we'll go to the bottom of the 8th, a 3-3 tie. Quinn's at 111 pitches. His EPC 125. Woodling will hit in the 5th. And not in the 5th, in the 8th. He's 1 for 3. Ball 4, he gets on. That's walk number 5 for Quinn to go along with his 6 Ks. Now, it's the 8th inning. So who can pitch run? And there's nobody that I really trust here to pinch run. So we're just going to do the old-fashioned here. And Ripken, not much of a bunter. They try to pick off Woodling. No such luck. Ripken smacks it to second. Lazzari over to the shortstop for one, but that's all they get. And that brings on Bobby Grich, who is 1 for 3 on the day. See what he can do. Well, first a little powwow at the mound. Now the pitch. Grounder to third base. Over to second for the putout there. And there's 2 outs. Brooks Robinson, who is 0 for 2 so far today. He'll get an at bat here. Up the middle, a base hit. That keeps Baltimore's chances alive. Grich goes to third. And now Gus Triandos. Don't have anybody here who could hit. We could bring in the pinch hit. Chris Hoyles would be our reserve catcher. Best righty hitter we have would be either Hoyles or Mora, who could play third. We'll keep Triandos in the game. Ground to the shortstop. No, it goes through. A base hit, and that gives Baltimore the lead. At 4-3, Triandos hits it between third and short. I thought Jeter might get to it. He didn't. And now Baltimore tries to pad to their lead with Brady Anderson. 2 outs in the 8th. Hit well to right, but this is going to go right to Maris. Russi appears to be tiring, so we go to the bullpen. And we're going to look for somebody here. Who is the closer, pray tell, on the Baltimore team? We'll give him a shot. It's going to be Ryan. Ryan to pitch. In real life, his whip is 1.207. 211 is the opposing batting average against him. He's got to face Jeter, Combs, and Roof here in the 9th. Pitch to Jeter. Strike 3 called. Now it's Combs with 2 more outs to get for the O's to put this in the win column. Combs, oh, just gets by Gritch for a base hit. 4 hits on the day for Earl Combs, so his season has gotten off to a good start. And now you got trouble because now you got Babe frickin' Ruth. We will guard the lines. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 called. And Ruth is 0 for 5 on the day. Last chance for the Yankees is going to be Lou Gehrig. 2 outs, top of the ninth. They'll definitely want to do a little confab here before the pitch. Hit well to left. Woodling makes the play, and Baltimore is your winner, 4-3. So Baltimore wins the first game in HTBL history, a day game. Most of these games will be played at night, but I will set aside one game a day and play it in the daytime, and that way it's the game of the day. Quinn went all the way, 8 innings pitched, gave up 8 hits, 5 walks, 6 strikeouts. Russi will get credit for the win with his 8 innings pitched, and Ryan came on to get the save. MVP of the game was Amos Russi, and I don't think that's to anybody's surprise. So I hope you enjoyed this first edition of the Hometown Baseball League. I will show you the rest of the games from today tomorrow, or when I do my next taping, because I got to play my Tampa Bay Rays here in just a minute. Hope you enjoyed it. Very first effort, and we're going to try to keep this going as long as it takes to play all the games of a 144-game season. This has been Big Polly coming to you, wishing you well, Godspeed and God bless. We'll do it all again soon. Bye-bye for now, everybody.